Hi, Yvonne.
Hello, how
How
are
are
you?
you?
I am good.
Great. Can you turn on your camera if you don't mind?
Okay. At
Well,
least one of
that's kind of we got to keep our cameras on, right? You know that, right?
at least one of my classwork,
Pardon me?
but at least one of my class is working.
One of
My
your
ear
what?
no, my earlier class I did not get in, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Oh, what class?
That was speeds, one
Oh,
to three. Yeah, I
you
have
mean
to sort that one.
The Zoom wouldn't work or what?
It, I'm not sure if the timing is off, but it just no professor was there to open it. That's it.
Oh,
And my schedule said I have class one to three. But then her welcome says 3 to 5 on Friday. So that's something I'm gonna have to work out with them.
mm, Well, welcome. I'm happy to have
Thank you.
you. Um, what campus are you from?
Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie. Okay, cool. Now, you guys are in your fourth term, right?
Uh, I'm not sure because I'm in, I
What are
would
your other
say
classes?
third, because what happened last semester, I had to take that semester off. I was
Mm,
supposed to be in your class last semester and I had to take it off.
okay.
Now should be my fourth still, I think. Yeah.
Okay. And what classes are you taking? Are you taking well, you're supposed to be
Mid
taking peds and what, med surge too?
yes.
Okay. All right. And you guys have already had, let me just reviewing fundamentals or
Yeah.
assess, is it called fundamentals?
Mm-hmm.
OB.
Yes, maternity, yes.
Yes, you've had fundamentals, OB. You're in peds and med surge now, so you've had med surge one.
And I had pharmacology
You've already had
and
pharmacology,
gerontology.
gerontology. Okay.
And as you said, foundation, basic skills, all those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Great. Great, great. Well, I'm happy to
I
have you.
thank you. I'm happy to be here. Am I the only one in your class?
It's just you and I right now. This isn't a big class. We only have 10 students, but
Okay.
yeah, so should be good. Did you get all my announcements?
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna practice with you for a second on breakout rooms.
Mm,
Okay,
okay.
hang on. Let's see if I can get you to a breakout room. Did you get an invite?
Yes. Got it. Now I got it.
Okay, so um,
Want me to
join,
join it?
jo- join,
Okay.
yes, please. Okay,
All right.
you're in my breakout room. Okay, great.
Okay.
So
And now
let's,
I'm gonna leave the room.
I'm going to close the room.
Okay.
Okay, that was easy.
All right. You got it.
So did you guys even have a PEDS class today, or you were in the wrong section?
I I am not sure what happened with, of course, all most of the other students who I'm in communication with, they had their piece, but they had a different professor from me. So I don't know
Hmm.
what's happening with mine because I
Hmm.
logged on, but no professor turned up. And then the professor I have, when I look at her welcome statement, she said classes from 3 to 5 on Friday. So something is crossed there horrible, so I'll have to get that
Yeah,
started.
reach out to your dean, your Port St. Lucie
Yes,
dean.
yes, and let them know
Yeah,
because we're at cross purpose here.
okay.
But at least I get you right, 3 to 5.
You get me 3 to 5 on
Monday.
Mondays,
Mhm. Okay, we have another one.
right? Hi, Michael.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. We're still in pediatrics, so we're kind of wrapping up.
Oh, well, I'll wait for you guys to wrap up. I'll wait for you to join here. So are you on two Zooms?
Yes, if it's from 1 to 3 is peds, and from 3 to 5 is you.
Okay. Yvonne, I wonder if you're supposed to be in that peds class that Michael's in.
I don't know what I don't know because everybody else seemed to have their peace class today. And I that's what my syllabus said, but I did
So
not
yeah, I
get
would
it.
just I would reach out to your dean to clarify which peds class you're supposed to be in.
Yep, I'm gonna do. But my name is in the Professor Burnell's class. But for some reason, when I logged on it, I just sat there and there was nothing. She didn't appear. And then
Okay,
her welcome statement said 3 to 5. So I'm not
okay.
sure.
Well, reach out to your dean and find out, make sure you have the
I
right
def-
schedule. You're
Right,
scheduled for the right class,
I
right,
definitely will. Thanks.
right. So you guys are all coming from peds, this group.
Okay, she's wrapped up.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys want a quickie 5-minute break? Go to the restroom and grab a drink? Will that help?
Yes.
Okay, you guys go do that. Hey, Jessen,
Hello.
you coming from peds too?
Yes.
We're on a 5-minute break. Go get a drink and go to the restroom.
Okay.
Okay. Yvonne, I wonder if you're supposed to be in the class before these guys.
I don't know. It depends on the professor.
Yeah.
Because my
Who's your
friend who-
professor? Who's your professor listed for
Um,
peds?
I think her name is Burnell.
Okay.
And most of these guys, my friends, they have I know this lady Patience of
Mhm.
Aurora,
Mm-hmm.
and they got on
Mm-hmm.
in their time, but I will use the link that's in Professor Burnell's,
Mm.
and she didn't appear.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, Walter.
Hi, Professor.
How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Good. What class are you coming from? You're not coming from peds, are you?
Yes, I am.
You are
There's
coming
always
from.
there's always students coming in.
Well, we're on a quickie. If you need to go grab a restroom break or grab something to drink, go ahead.
All
If
right.
you need to.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Michael, you look like you're back. What campus are you from?
Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Okay, you're Port St. Lucie. My parents live in Fort Myers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Are they all right?
Well, actually, they do they were going down in a couple of weeks. They're one of those snowbirds. They do like 6 and 6.
Okay.
They can't get to their place.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yep. Port St.
Well, at least
Port St. Lucie's on the east side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least they weren't here.
No, they weren't here and they
Yeah,
can't get there
true.
now. Yeah. And I go down and see them a lot in the winter in Fort Myers, but oh my gosh.
You can
What
replace
a-
property, but not life.
Huh?
You can replace property, but not life.
Oh, totally. Hi, Lisa.
Hello,
What campus are you from?
Richmond campus.
Richmond?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. I should have students in this class from either Cutler Bay, Orange Park, Port St. Lucie, and Richmond. Jessen, where are you from? He's not back
Port St.
yet.
Lucie.
Oh, you're Port St. Lucie, okay.
Mhm.
Yvonne, we already talked. You're, let's see, Walter, you're Cutler Bay, right?
Yeah, I think Nadesh also, I think Nadesh is
What?
for Color Bay. I don't know what happened. She should be coming in.
Who?
Nadesh?
I don't have that name in my roster.
Oh, maybe she had, I don't know.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. First week's always everybody getting situated. Ronke, is that how you say your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you turn on your camera, please?
Yes.
Thanks. And what camera are you from? What campus are you from?
Orange Park.
You're Orange Park, okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Bree, hi Bree.
Hello,
Bree Kelowna. Yep. What campus are you from?
Richmond.
Okay. Let's see, who else? Gouffran? Is that how you say your name?
Yes.
Hi there. When you have a minute, flip your camera on, that'd be great. Hi. And what campus are you from? Oh, that's fine. Take a eat, that's fine, no problem.
Or this,
Pardon me?
Richmond.
Richmond, okay. Madison, I know I saw a Madison. There you are. Madison, will you turn your camera on, please?
I'm from the Richmond campus.
Richmond, okay, awesome, welcome. And let's see. Gouffran, I need you to have your camera on, please. Jessen, I need your camera, I need everybody's camera on. That's kind of the way it goes, right, Walter? Right?
Right.
Professor Marvel's gonna keep telling you to turn your camera on. Let's see. Khadijah? Where's Khadijah? There you are. Is that you? I can only see the top of your head. Okay. What campus are you from? Khadijah?
Park.
I'm sorry?
Orange Park.
Oh, okay. Welcome. Is that how you pronounce your name? Khadijah?
Yes, that's how you pronounce it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think I have everybody here now. Oh, yeah. This is a small class. Right now, we only have 10 students. Ronke, could you turn your camera on, please?
Carson's gonna be late because he lives like an hour away from the school and they just let us out at like almost 3. So he's gonna be late.
Who's going to be late?
Carson, Landon Carson.
I don't have that student in my class.
Maria, I don't think he's in our class. I think he's in a different one.
I think
Oh,
there's
just
another.
kidding.
Go ahead. There's another section going on at the same time. Gouffran, just if you could, I just like to see your face. I'm looking at the ceiling. There you are. Okay. All right.
I just need to wash my hands. Give me 1 second.
That's fine. Now, are all of you guys coming from PEDS other than Yvonne? Everybody coming from a PEDS class? Okay. No, Lisa, you're not. Okay. Okay. I think, let's see, when I looked this morning, it looks like everybody except one student had accessed the shell, your class, right? Everybody's gone in to peek around or know where your shell is, right? Okay. I haven't really looked yet, but you should be working on that technology quiz and syllabus quiz, right? You have to do it for every, I think you have to do it for every
Yes.
class, right?
Yes.
Yep, so you should be working on those. My understanding is if you can't get into the shell unless you've done those quizzes. Is that still the way it works?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good, good. I don't mean good, but okay. Well, welcome to what it was, concepts in community-based nursing. I teach both in the RN and the PN program. So I'm Professor Marvel. We have a very small class, which is kind of nice, only 10 of us, 10 of you. So I am in my, I've set up my instructor page with my bio and contact information, and I'll show you that in the module. The goal today is to cover orientation PowerPoint. Did you guys just cover the orientation PowerPoint in PEDS? Right. But some of you didn't, so I'm going to have to go through it kind of page by page for the few of you that didn't. So we have to go through it. That's part of week 1, and then we'll spend the second part of class going through the module. Okay, going through the assignments and going through all that, and then my little tidbits for this class. Does anybody have so far any conflicts with their schedule that needs to either be moved around, or if you do, this is the week you need to be getting in touch with your dean. Okay, if this is going to be a conflict. Okay, does anybody have any burning questions to start off with? I'll probably answer 90% of them. Okay, now this is back to back. I mean, you guys, this is a back to back class. You got PEDS before this, most of you, and so we'll try and take a little break at the beginning. Maybe I won't even plan on starting until 5 or 10 after. So if you're a little bit late, I'm just assuming you're getting something to drink, bathroom break, whatever. Okay. And then for the classes that I have going to another class, I'd like to try and let them out a bit early so that they can have a little bit of a break. Okay. The way I take attendance is the chat. Okay, so I need everybody to put their name and their campus in the chat. That's how I take attendance. So there's no question of who is here, when they were here. Because the nice thing about putting it in the chat allows me to to see who's here, who jumped out, who came back on. And that way we don't have any questions if people say they were in class and they weren't. So overall, a little bit about me. This is my 8th term at Fortis. I've been teaching mostly in the RN program up until last term. I started teaching in the PN program and became the course lead for a PN program. So this is my 2nd term in PN. I love it. I love the combination of both the RN and the PN program. My sections are Mondays and Fridays. We have 7 sections of PN. Okay, we have 4 instructors. We have Dr. Kershaw, Professor Bailey, Dr. Ford, and myself. All right, so different sections. However, you're assigned to this section. And so if there are emergencies and you cannot attend this particular Monday live section, I always want you to try and attend a live section versus listening to a recording. And so if there's an emergency and you cannot attend your Monday class, I'll give you the option of going to any of the other or try and go to my Friday class, number one. If you can't do that, then we'll offer up some other instructors classes. But I always think it's important to get a live lecture. Okay. My experience is
Professor, what time is your Friday class?
PN, RN, RN, PN, 1 to 3,
Same time? Oh, 1 to 3, okay.
1 to 3 on Fridays. My background is, actually in May, I'll be a nurse for 40 years. So I started out in the military, did some military nursing, Navy nurse. And then I went in to the hospital and did women's and children's services, became a director of nursing of women's and children's services. And then I just retired a year ago from school nursing. I'm from Colorado, so I did 20 years of school nursing in a large district in Colorado, where I got all my community and public health experience. And then now I'm in education. So I love it. Really, really love what I do. So happy to be here. Happy to have you guys as students. And the most important thing for me is communication. Okay, I'm super easy to get along with. I'm super flexible. Okay, flexible to the point I can be, you know, staying within the Fortis handbook and guidelines, but I'm super easy. Okay, super, super, super easy. The most important thing for me is communication. Okay, if you got something going on, let me know. If you're going to be late with an assignment, let me know. Okay, if we have a one-off appointment, you're going to miss class, whatever, just let me know. That's all I ask for is communication. 95% of the issues that come up in any class are communication issues. And I say that in general. So, you know, as a nurse, as an LPN, communication is key. It's also key in your online classes as well. So really, really appreciate just upfront communication. All right, I'll work with you. I'll work with you as much as I can. All righty. So let's go through this orientation PowerPoint and then we'll get into the class. So I'm going to share my screen. Everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, good. All right. So at this point, you guys are in most of you are in your 4th term. Is that correct? 4th or 5th, 3rd, 4th or 5th. Okay. So this is not your first online class, correct? Or is this anybody's first online class? Okay. You can, if you need to answer any questions or need clarification, please just take yourself off mute and stop me and ask, or you can ask questions in the chat. Okay. So you guys know what online learning is. All right. One of the most important things about online learning is making sure that you have secure internet. Okay. There's always things that happen, weather related, but in general, you really need to have a strong online or a strong internet. If you have issues with internet, I always suggest that you go to campus. All right, go to campus to participate in class, go to campus for your exams, not to take your exams, but to just use the internet on campus. Okay. So as the online courses are set up, this is our weekly face-to-face with each other. Mondays 3 to 5, and the rest is through online activities. Okay. I like to provide feedback for your homework and your assignments, so please make note of that. All of our online courses, they have weekly homework assignments, learning activities. In PN, we also have quizzes, and there are 3 exams. We'll go through that when we get to the syllabus. Right? You do have work due every week. Okay. And then This particular class, we have students from Cutler Bay, Orange Park, Port St. Lucie, and Richmond. So we have a wide variety of campuses represented, which is great. So for any issues, computer access, course questions, start with me. Okay. I'm probably going to try and redirect you back to student resources since most of your questions will be answered in your student resource section, but I will start to problem solve with you. Okay. And since you're already progressing along, you should be real familiar with your student resource section. Okay. There's everything you need in there, and we'll go through that. If there are issues with regards to Sims, labs, clinicals, okay, you need to go to your campus instructor first and then your campus dean. Okay, I can't help you with Sims, labs, clinical issues. I can help you with online or didactic course, but not with that. Okay, so lucky for you, your instructor's your first and foremost, and then the lead, course lead, that's me. So if I can't help you as your instructor and then the course lead, I will go to Dean Brown, and her information is right here. So I highly suggest you save that. It's on the bottom of this slide. I have sent you all this orientation PowerPoint in an announcement. Did all of you get that? Have you guys seen this PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, right. So you can go back and look at Dean Brown's contact information, but that is simple. And I also have it at the bottom of my instructor page, which I'll show you. Okay, so how am I available? I'm pretty flexible and available. Okay, I get my emails to my phone. I check my emails throughout the day. I am very good about responding in a timely manner. I respond on the weekends. I meet on the weekends. You can email me, and my email is in the instructor section. I don't mind getting a text. You just identify yourself when you text me or call me. Just identify yourself, who you are, because I don't answer a lot of calls. I don't know where they're from, and if you do call me, I'll save you as a contact, and that way I'll have your information. Okay. I will provide you feedback throughout the term. I will offer assistance, tutoring. I am very experienced in this content area, especially teaching the RN program for the last year and a half, and then with my background as well. Okay, and obviously an online course is a professional setting, and communication is to be respectful at all times. One of your announcements a couple of days ago included online etiquette. Okay, so it would be helpful if you could follow that. You all know how the online classes work as far as start times and end times. Monday, right, and Sunday. Okay, each week there's 2 activities to complete. Okay, every week it's different, but there has to be 2 attendance submissions, two submissions per week. One will always be the attestation, right? So I like to do my attestations at the end of class. I like to take the last couple of minutes of class and do the attestation so that you guys can get it done and checked off and you don't have to worry about it. So attestations need to be done within 24 hours of class. Okay, so I like to do it at the end of the class, and that way, check it off, it's all done. And then there's always something else that needs to be submitted for your second submission of the week, whether it's a discussion question, a quiz, a NCLEX assignment, HESI case study. For you guys, there's only 2 discussion questions. So there's only going to be 2 Wednesday submissions, and those come up in weeks 1 and 2. And I'll show you that in the syllabus. Okay, so as you know, for discussion questions in previous classes, the initial post is always due on Wednesday, right? For this class, that comes up in weeks 1 and 2. So this coming Wednesday, and next Wednesday are your 2 Wednesday submissions for the term. Make sense? Everything else is due on Sunday. Everything. Except you guys do have a group project. We'll talk about it later. You do have a group project in week 7. It's infectious disease paper. That particular assignment is treated like a discussion question. You got to post whatever your group did on Wednesday and then respond to your, but we'll talk about that down the road. However, that would be your 3rd Wednesday assignment. So I think it's week 7. So anyway, let's see what else. I'm just trying to, okay. I'm not technologically challenged, but I kind of am. Where'd I go? Okay. Okay, this is really important. I'm sure you just covered it in PEDS. I'm going to cover it again. And this is one of the areas that I cannot be flexible. This is a university policy. Okay. 2 things about late work. Okay. It's only accepted with prior approval, and that's where communication comes in. So if you email me on Sunday, whatever, you can't get your assignment in, you're letting me know, could you have a couple extra days to do it? Of course. Of course. All right. Then you'll have up to 7 days to complete it. So if you turn it in Monday, it's a 10%. If you contact me, it's fine to turn it in within the week. Okay, but you will have a 10% deduction. Okay, after 7 days, I can't accept it. That's a university policy. Okay, so I just want to make crystal clear that, let's say, for example, discussion question is due Sunday of this week. All right, if you don't turn it in, it's a 0. If I haven't heard from you, it's a 0. There's no extra week to complete it. And that's what this prior approval means. Does that make sense? This class is very manageable. Okay. And maybe I should just give my little blurb now. Community this is a different class from your other classes, different class from PEDS, maternity. This doesn't have a clinical assigned to it. Okay. This class, you're bringing everything together. You're bringing your PEDS, you're bringing your fundamentals, you're bringing your MedSurg 1, you're bringing your pharmacology, you're bringing all your tools to this class. Okay, you have to step out of the box here for this class and position yourself in the community. Okay, in the community, we take care of clients from 0 all the way up to the elderly. Okay, so your PEDS experience is going to come into play, your MedSurg experience is going to come into play, and I would ask you to look at this class as pulling everything together. Okay, your exams, your HESI is all based on pulling previous knowledge as well. Does that make sense? This is pulling it all together. Right, because people you discharge from the hospital, where do they go? They go home, they go to long-term care, they go to rehab, they go to assisted living. That's all community nursing. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about this slide? This slide's really important. I'm flexible, but I can't be flexible on this. So without prior approval, if it's not turned in Sunday night, it's an automatic 0. If you've reached out to me and you and I have come up with some kind of a agreement, that's fine. You have a week to turn it in and with a 10% deduction. Just want to make sure that nobody has any questions about that. Okay, so we talked about this briefly. Attendance is taken with student submissions. So I take your attendance in the chat. So if you came in late and haven't put your name and your campus in the chat, please do that now. That's how I take attendance. Everybody has 2 submissions per week. Okay. Your first one is always going to be your attestation, and here's a list we already talked about. You guys don't have any Kaplan, but this could be one of the other ones. And there's a few weeks, there's 3 things to turn in. Okay, but we always have to have 2. Anybody without posting attendance for 14 days is dropped. Okay, so I try and look a couple of times a week at making sure you guys are staying in your shells, right? Or getting into your shells every couple of days to see what's going on. But if you don't get into your shell for 14 days, or you don't attend class for 2 weeks in a row, you're going to be dropped. As with nursing, not documented, not done. Okay. Cameras need to be on at all times when you're in class. I don't want to, this is something else I can't be flexible with. Cameras need to be on at all times. So just turn your camera on when you come to class. And you're not allowed to be in class if you're driving, right? You're familiar with this, right? Yeah, I mean, you can be pulled over, I guess, listening to class, but you can't be driving. And then you're not allowed to be logged on while at work during your scheduled class time. Is anybody unfamiliar with any of these 3? Okay, online class is considered being in a real class. Please plan accordingly. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay, so just a couple of tips for success. Okay, review your work that's due each week. I like to try and cover, before we part ways today, I like to cover what's coming up in week 2. Next week, I like to cover what's coming up in week 3, just so you have an idea. Complete the reading assignments each week. Complete interactive. We do not have an interactive lesson. Attend live sessions. These are mandatory. Okay, so unless you have something going on, you're expected to be in class. Okay, all the assignments have rubrics. And so, as you've probably been told by previous classes, please read the rubrics. That's how I grade things, based on the rubric. That's why we have rubrics. Okay, and then complete all your work. I did, for the first time in a couple of terms, I did have homework fails last term. You guys know what a homework fail is, right? Somebody tell me what a homework fail is.
Well, you don't get points. You
Nope,
fail. That's it.
nope, nope. Somebody tell me what homework fail is. Ronke, can you turn on your phone, please, or your camera, please?
It's
Thanks. No worries.
Oh.
Somebody tell me what a homework fail is.
Is it when you pass the class with whatever, and then when you put in the homework and they have not done it, then it fails them?
Yep. Yep. Don't be one of those students. Don't, not in this class. Or not in any class, not in this class. There's just not a lot of, there's not a lot of work. Right? There's not, keep up in this class. Okay? Block out a time. I'm going off of my little tangents now. Block out some time early in the week to get your community stuff done. Okay? Because you guys are busy. You have 2 other classes. It's a heavy term. Does that make sense? Do not hand in your homework. You have to hand in your homework, because exactly what Madison said. In this program, your KGAs in this class are your 3 exams and your 5 quizzes, right? And we'll review that when we go through the syllabus. If you do not have a 78% after those 3 exams and 5 quizzes, your homework does not get added in. Okay. If you do have a 78 or above, your homework gets added in. If you haven't done a good job with your homework, then you'll end up failing the class, which is silly. Silly. That shouldn't be happening. Okay. So I'm going to be on you every Monday morning. I always go into the grade book and see what I don't have and start emailing you guys. I don't like to do it, but I just try and stay on you. I don't usually have issues with homework in my classes. I try and stay on top of you guys. I really do. But it's up to you. Just there's just not a lot of work in this class. The one thing I will say, and I might as well just, no, I'll wait till the syllabus. A lot of your work that's due is due at the end of the term. And the end of the term comes up quick and it gets busy. So we'll review that. Let me just keep going through the PowerPoint here. Let's see. To be successful, keep in contact with me. Internet connection, maintain a schedule. You guys have a busy, however you organize your time and schedule. Make sure you're doing that this term. This is a heavy term for you guys. All right. I realize you have med-surg, peds, and community. It's heavy. Got to stay organized. Okay. I would suggest you log into class every couple of days. Definitely review. I will be sending out a weekly announcement every week with readings and assignments and what's due. I take a lot of that information from your module, but I like to summarize it for you over the weekend. And you guys are a Monday class, so I like to do it Saturday, no later than noon on Sunday, so that you guys have an idea of what's coming up. Okay, submit everything when it's due. Review assignments for next week. Don't procrastinate. Let's see, preparation expectations. Do homework, readings. Reading must be done prior to lecture time. There's not a lot of reading in this class, and it would be helpful if you could preview your readings before you come to class so you have an idea of what we're covering. Okay. Look at the objectives at the beginning of the chapter. And again, in this class, there's not a lot of whole chapters. We're following 3 different books. I'll go through that when we get to the syllabus. You guys know how to do all this. Day 1, log in, right? You know how to do this whole slide, right? If you can't access any of your 3 books, you got to let me know. And I'm hoping that you've all tried that by now. Has everybody been into the module? Is there anybody that hasn't been into the module yet? Okay. Anybody that hasn't completed the technology and syllabus quiz? So you've all done that. Great. So you should be able to go through the shell. Okay, awesome. Let's see. Mandatory live sessions. We'll go through concepts. I really want participation. I don't want to listen to myself talk for 2 hours. The one thing we're going to do this term, and we're going to throughout all the classes, is we're going to be doing a 50-50 split, meaning first hour is going to be content and the second hour is going to be some kind of an activity where you all are participating. I have some ideas about what I want to do, like on quiz weeks. I would like to actually, the second hour, break out into groups in the breakout rooms and do quizzes. Let's say Walter and Madison we only have 10 students, so we could break out in 2 groups of 5. And the first group could answer the first 5 questions on the quiz. And then the second group can answer the second 5. And then we could all come back together and do the quiz together. Okay, so we're going to do group activities. We won't do it this week and we won't do it during our exam weeks, but on all the other, I may give you guys a case study, put you in a couple of breakout rooms and say, go figure out the case study and come back and tell us about it. Okay, because I don't believe that 2 hours of lecture is productive. I really think that you guys need to be interacting with each other and doing some activities. One of the other professors is working on some Kahoots for this class. So I consider that a group activity. We can, after the first hour of content, we can sit and do a Kahoot. together. I have access, as you do in your student resources, you have access to your NCLEX practice questions, right? You guys found those yet? In your student resources?
I
I'll
know
show you.
where they are.
Yep, they're in there. I also have NCLEX practice questions too. And so I'd like to go through some practice questions each week with you guys, and that would be one of our group activities as well. Okay? I highly suggest you do your NCLEX questions. Pick a number. I don't know, 50 a week. Right? 100 a week, I don't know, whatever it is. But do your NCLEX questions through your student resources, and I'll add to that with my instructor HESI questions that I get. Okay, so I don't want to be sitting and talking for 2 hours. Okay, this is the only week I'll do it. But the rest of the time, we just need to grind this out together. Okay? And we'll get across the finish line together. Okay, this is a team effort. Okay? But you got to do your part too. I'll do my part, you do your part. Okay? All right. Sorry, I keep going off of my tangents, but that's okay. I was going to say it eventually anyway. Okay, this is in the syllabus, but I put this in there. This is a generic orientation PowerPoint. So I've updated a few sections for this class. So here's your graded, here's what the course is about. 3 exams worth 55%. Your HESI at the end's worth 20%. And then you got 5 quizzes, each worth 1%. This should say, this is a KGA. This is not homework. That's my error. Quizzes are KGAs. I know it's correct in the syllabus. Told you I'm not very. Okay, this is a KGA. Okay. So those 3 add up to 80%. Okay. Then we have a couple things you'll be doing during the term. You have a community resource project, which is we also call vulnerable populations project, that's due in week 9. We'll talk about that when we get to the syllabus. You have 4 sets of NCLEX questions. Okay, each worth 1.25%. You have 2 case studies, each worth 2.5%. HESI prep assignment. I think a bird just flew into my window. HESI prep assignment, which we'll talk about. And then you have discussion questions and a group project. That should only say 3. And then your weekly live sessions are 11. Okay, and that's pass fail. Okay. So weeks 1 through 5, homework will not be turned on. Okay. On week 6, I will turn the homework on for you so you guys can see how your homework is affecting your grade. If you're turning in all your homework and you're doing fine, it should bump your grade up, right? If you're not turning in your homework, you can see how it's pulling your work down, your grade down. Okay. I'll keep those on for a couple of weeks. And if there are issues, if you're having issues with homework, you and I are going to be working individually, I promise. Because we all need to pass the class. Okay. And you already know this rule is 78%. We already talked about that. Exams, all scheduled, same as your previous semesters, all scheduled through ExamSoft. I will upload the exams for you or download the exams for you the Saturday morning before the week of the exams. Our exams in this class are weeks 4, 7, and 10. Okay, so I'll be uploading the exams that Saturday morning. You're a Monday class, so you're gonna have to download it before you come to class. Right? We take exams like you have in your other classes right here on this Zoom, proctored by me. Okay, I know I've had no break from the last term, but I would, between now and week 4, I'd just get into ExamSoft, make sure account's still active, Make sure there are no technical issues. Okay, you guys all know the rules with exams, one attempt. You can't stop, pause, resume. If you have any technical difficulties during the exam, stop. We'll go through that. Exams, I try and run a pretty tight ship so that people don't get distracted. We get signed in at the beginning, and then once I give you the code, everybody's muted, right? You're muted for the entire exam. If you have to get in touch with me, I give you my cell phone. You can text me, you can call me. I give you the ExamSoft support number. But once we start exams, there's no turning on mics. So we'll go through that when we get our come up to our first exam.
I had a question.
Yep.
I don't like taking my exams through at home or whatever, however y'all do it, zooming on the phone and then taking the exam on Exemplify at home. So if I find a proctor on campus and they email you and let you know that they're gonna proctor
Perfect.
me, is that okay?
Perfect. You betcha.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Yep. You just need to reach out to that instructor, have them send me an email so I can send them the passcode. I have lots of students do that. Perfectly fine. Speaking, okay. If anybody has any accommodations from last term, okay, you need to get those to me. Okay, I have to make sure that Dean Brown, we keep a master list of accommodations, and she loads all those accommodations into ExamSoft. Whether it's extra minutes for test taking, a certain area where, quiet area where you have to take your exam. So if you do have accommodations, don't just assume it's going to carry from one term to the next. Send me a copy of it. Okay. Oh, here it is. Accommodations, just let me know. Okay. Exams are always held during this scheduled time. Okay. If for some reason you have an emergency and you cannot take the exam, you got to let me know ahead of time, because I have to get written approval. I need something in writing from you. If it's an illness, I need some kind of documentation, okay, of why you can't take the exam at the scheduled time. And then that has to get approved by Dean Brown. If it's an emergency, we'll deal with it. But you're a Monday group. So if there is an issue, we can try and find a later date to take your exam, but these are one-offs. Okay, this isn't for every exam. You're expected to take it on Mondays from 3 to 5. But I realize there are exceptions. Okay, and then Bree, here's your question. You can be proctored with a faculty member on campus, but I do need advance notice. Just coordinate it. Actually, I had a whole campus last term. It was, I think, Centerville. Every single Centerville student took it in a group on campus with an instructor. Yep. So we just went through that about exams on camera, no earphones, all the missed exams will be held to the late work policy. All right. So if there's no prior notice and you just don't show up for the exam, it's automatic 0. If it was an exam that was missed for personal reasons, you'll have a 10% deduction, excuse me. And then here's your exams missed due to an emergency will require documentation. You guys will have questions throughout the term. And if it was covered here this week in orientation, I'm going to, since you all have this PowerPoint, I will refer you back to this PowerPoint in the specific area where you can find it. Okay. This is so important, what's in red here, to contact me, and this is all about communication. Okay, contact me with issues that may prevent you from being successful on an exam. Okay, and that doesn't mean you work the night before. Okay, you got to let me know before the exam. Contacting me after the exam, there's nothing I can do. Okay, if something's going on that's personal and is completely affecting your ability to take the exam and you want to postpone it for a couple of days, I'm fine. We can do that. We can do that. But you got to let me know ahead of time. Okay. And then again, contact me if you have any problems or if you need anything. I'm very open. Homework. You should already be doing slide number 26. Okay. You wouldn't be this far if you didn't have a plan in place. Planning, prioritizing, completing work, and submitting it. So you can go back and read that. Planning and organizing. Everybody has their own way of planning and organizing. Okay, here's just a slide that shows you how to put things in a calendar. I don't know about you, I use my phone Google Calendar. Anytime somebody even thinks about telling me I have to do something, I go right to my phone and put it in my calendar. I'm also kind of old school. I live by sticky notes. It's ridiculous. Here's your 10% again, or your late policy. Okay, really important. If the instructor approves your submission of a late assignment, points will still be deducted. The whole thing is letting me know ahead of time. And it's not the control issue of me knowing ahead of time, it's you getting into the habit of turning in your work on time. And if there's something that has gotten in your way, it's up to you to communicate. Okay. NCLEX. Everybody, is anybody not done, and I'm going to look at the group. Has anybody not done NCLEX questions before? Because I would like to skip over this part. Everybody knows how to do NCLEX questions, how to access them in your modules of all the 4 weeks. You have NCLEX questions. It says right on the NCLEX page of your module what you're supposed to request, what topics, what concepts. It's right there for you. Okay. So let's skip through NCLEX. Okay, here's what I want you to know about NCLEX. Do not submit me below 40. I know you get up to 50 points, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it right back to you. I'm going to open up the assignment back up for you, and I'm going to say, hey, if you want to redo the assignment to get up towards 50, please do. I've reopened it for you. You can repeat and do as many NCLEXs. Let's say it's week 2 and you're doing your first 50. Okay, you can keep going through and doing it and doing it and doing it and then submit your highest grade. The reason why I want you to spend time on NCLEX is the rationales. You'll hear me say over and over during the term, rationales to me are one of the key factors in learning. Anytime you can have access to rationales, case studies, NCLEX, HESI, remediation. Okay, so if you send me something, if you send me anything below 40, I'm going to send you a note back and I'm going to say, hey, I'm not sure how much you learned from this exercise. If you submitted me a 35, I'm going to reopen it for you. If you would like, go back and redo it. Okay, so again, you can take this as many times as you want and just submit your highest score. Okay, yes, of course, it helps in your grade when you submit close to a 50. Each is worth, I think, 1.25, we said. But what's more important is that you learn from what you got wrong. So if you do it the first time and you get a 25, go do it again. If you get a 35, go do it again. Pretty soon you're going to be up to 45, 50, and you're going to have learned a lot of things along the way in just one assignment. Make sense? Okay, you guys know about no screenshots, right? Don't send me a screenshot. I can't accept it. That's not my rule. It's the university's rule. Okay, NCLEXs are submitted in PDFs. You need to access all your assignments, including case studies, NCLEX, through your module. Don't go into evolve.com. Okay, please click on the link of your module. That's how you're going to get messed up and have to submit a screenshot if you're not doing it through the module. I can't accept a screenshot. Okay. HESI case studies. You guys know how to add the case studies are already preloaded in your module. Okay. On week let's see, week 10, you have an exam, week 11 is HESI. So we'll do HESI reviews before that, before you take your HESI. And I'll talk about that when we get back into the class. Case studies are in your module. And here it is, case studies access through your Evolve account will not be accepted without prior approval. This means don't go to evolve.com, go through your module. Okay. Your case studies, don't worry about submitting me a grade. They populate into your grade book. Okay, your case studies, I get the grades. Okay. Access by any method will result in a 0 for the assignment. Let me know if you're repeating the course or you have to have your previous work reset. I do need to know that. Well, actually, I need to know 2 things. If you're repeating any classes, okay, if you're considered a repeat student for whatever class, not just community, please send me an email. Okay, if you're repeating community, send me an email. Okay, I like to work with all my students, but I pay special attention to my repeat students. Okay, I need to get them across the finish line this term. Have to, and I'll do whatever I can to make that happen. Okay, so I need to know if you have accommodations, if you're a repeat student in general, or if you are repeating community. Fair? Okay. Writing papers, discussion posts. I sent you, I'm going to send you a lot of stuff, but one of the things I sent you the last couple of days was APA format. Everybody got that email announcement? It's a nice little cheat sheet on APA format. It's also in your student resources. So please take a moment to review that. Okay. You guys know how to do your shells. It's that rubrics, you know, rubrics are APA, exams. You all know this, there are times you can only complete it once. Most important thing about an exam, if you run into a problem during the exam, you got to stop because it has to be on camera. Okay, you just got to stop. We'll figure it out, whether you have to call ExamSoft, whatever. We got to figure it out, but you got to stop your exam. And here it is right here. Slide 44. Stop your exam. And then this is what we'll all do together. We'll try and problem solve what's going on. HESI. HESI's given once. It counts for 20% of your grade. We want you to shoot for 900. Remediation is mandatory. You guys just went through that last week. We don't have to go through that right now. What you need to do. HESI, things we'll go over during HESI week. We'll go back to that. The one thing that's going to prepare you for HESI is I'm going to be providing you this week with a HESI prep guide. All right. This is actually an assignment that is due in week 9. It's a HESI prep that you work on throughout the term. And that's another group activity we're going to do. Because I had too many students last term trying to fill out this HESI assignment at the last minute. And it was too much. If we're filling it out as the term goes, it's a HESI prep. So if you're working on it weekly, you'll be good to go come week 9. Okay, so that's one of the other things I think I might do for some of my interactive second hour activities is send you guys back with half the group, do week 1 HESI prep, have the other half do week 2, and we'll put it all together so you can be filling it out. You'll know more about that in a second. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's part 1. Anybody have any questions about the orientation PowerPoint? You have it. I refer back to that document, so put it somewhere. I refer back to that document when you have questions, if the answers are in there, and I refer to student resources all the time. Okay, so those are the two areas I'm gonna redirect you back first. When you ask me a question, it can be answered in any of those areas. So does anybody have any, I know that was a repeat for a lot of you guys, but I had to go over for the students who did not just come from Peds. Does anybody have any questions? The two biggest takeaways for me are communication on the front end and late work stuff. Makes me crazy. Late work. There's no need for it. Not in this class. Okay. Okay, let's go into the course shell. Any questions yet? Okay, let me get my bearings here. Here we are. Okay, so I can always go into student view. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Hang on, sorry about that. See? Oh, the other thing that I tend to forget is to start recording. So if anybody has the inclination when you come on, if you don't see it's recording, will you just give me a shout out to start? I can see what the student view is. My purple line down here says I'm looking at this in student view. So I always like to go in and look at what you guys can see as well, right? So let's go into our announcements. Okay, there's your APA that I sent. Okay, here's your class online etiquette and expectations. I'm not really a hardliner for just do it. I mean, just don't, you know what I mean? Just let's all just make this respectful. I really don't want any, honest, I don't want anybody laying in bed taking their exams. I don't, you know, stuff like that. Kids sitting on your lap taking exams and all that. Just let's not go there. Okay, so read through your etiquette and, you know, treat this like you were going on campus to a class. Okay, here in your welcome PNR 208, that's where this PowerPoint is. If you haven't found it yet, that's where it is. Okay, and then ebooks. Has everybody accessed their ebooks? Does everybody have access to their ebooks? There's 3 of them.
No,
Have you tried?
no, I thought we were using because I have the hard copies.
Oh, yeah, if you have hard copies, that's fine. Yeah, I just need to make sure you have access to the books. Whether it's hard. What?
For the one that I don't have the hard copy, I'll look back into that.
Say that again. And
For the
I don't know
one,
who,
I
I don't
think
know
there
who's,
might, it's Yvonne.
okay,
I-
Yvonne, go ahead.
Right, I think there might be one that I don't have as a hard copy, but I'll definitely try to access it and
Yeah,
see
you'll
what
have,
happens.
yeah. Either hard copy or ebook is fine, but you have to have
Okay.
access to all 3 books.
Yeah, alrighty.
Okay, and then, if you are having problems with accessing your ebooks, this message is a whole bunch of training sessions. Okay? So launching of ebooks, that's us, that's this class. Okay? There are a whole bunch of support sessions, support trainings this week. Okay? So there's
Okay.
that. So Yvonne, if you need to go to one of those, go to one of those. Okay,
I will, thank you.
cool. Okay, then your syllabus cover sheet. Okay, this has, and again, I'm still in student view, so that I'm seeing what you can see. Okay, so this has information, it's already in the announcements, but this has me, my name, what our class is, what my email is. We always have to schedule virtual hour or virtual hours for these syllabus cover sheets. I just standardly do it the hour before class. Okay, just to get a time in there. Okay, but know that I meet with students morning, noon, and night, and weekends. Okay, so I put this in there to establish a concrete time. If you would like to meet with me during this time, please email me and I will get on early and we can meet. Otherwise, we'll be meeting at all different days, hours, and times. Okay, so what I mean by that is I'm totally flexible to meet with you guys. Okay, I'll work around your schedules. All right, and then at the bottom, here's some important dates. Start date, withdraw date. Withdraw date is always week 8. And then when we end. Here's my Zoom ID again. And then weekly tutoring times. We'll schedule it.
We ended on Christmas Day.
Yeah, your HESI is. Hang on.
Stuff.
No, we're not going on Christmas Day. Don't do it's just a second. Hang on. When you guys, let's see. I gotta get my calendar up. Hang on. It's already preloaded in my calendar. Let's go to when December. So December 19th, I think, is week. Week 11. So you'll be taking your HESI here. Okay. The week of the 12th.
Okay.
Okay. And so your remediation will be done that week. And what it means is it gives you the following week, right? To do your remediation is going to be due by Monday, right?
Okay.
The reason why the 20, because grades are due in here, Tuesday and Wednesday. The reason why it lists the 25th is that that's just the end of week 12. But we should be done by Monday, the 19th.
Alrighty.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. All right. Am I still sharing my screen? Yep. Okay, let's go back to. Okay, we just did that. You all have a welcome letter from Dean Brown. Okay. I suggest you read that because it has some really nice success. It has some nice hints from students' previous comments about how they felt like, what do they do to succeed in this class? Okay. So, please take a look at this. And also, please save Dean Brown's contact information. Because if you and I can't resolve an issue, with me being the instructor and the course lead, then I'll be going to Dean Brown to help problem solve. Okay. And then the last one that I wanted to go through was, this is what you'd be getting every week. Okay. This is more the introductory. This is a longer one because it's week 1. Okay. So I give you a little synopsis of what we're going to be doing in concepts in community-based nursing. Okay. So this is an introduction to the course right here. Please read it. I always like to give you your list of to-dos, and I kind of copy and paste this from the syllabus. So you could see it in the syllabus, but I like to give you a synopsis each week to put it all together in one place for you. So here's your readings. So this week you have a fundamentals reading and med-surg reading. So you have 2 of the 3 books, and you'll see not very often do we have a whole chapter. Okay, it's usually pieces of a chapter because we're pulling community information from all these 3 books.
Professor, what's the other book?
Pardon me?
Which book is the 3rd book?
Introduction to Maternity and Peds.
Oh, I have them all. Okay, thanks.
Yep. The one thing I want to point out is when it says Canvas module reading. Most weeks it says that. It gives you the books and then it will say Canvas module reading. That's right in your module, and I'll show you that. Okay, so there are 4 reading pages in your module this week. Intro to Community, Levels of Healthcare, Healthy People 2030, and Introduction. These are not up here in your books. This is right in your module, and I'll show you that. Okay. I do have PowerPoints for every chapter, for every book. However, I'm going to try and get you PowerPoints to just chapters that you're responsible for the whole chapter. Because I'm not going to send you whatever page 123 is in med-surg nursing. If it's only asking you to look at one page, I'm not going to send you the PowerPoint for that entire chapter because I don't want to overload you. Right? But I will send the PowerPoint for the fundamentals chapter 1, right? Because that whole PowerPoint would apply. Right? Does that make sense? What I like to do, what we like to do is notes. We have a summary every week of notes. Week 1 notes, week 2 notes, week 3 notes. And we have gone through all your readings and done a nice summary of all the readings and the concepts in your notes. But this doesn't prevent you from going back and doing your readings. This is just an additional resource to pull everything together. So the notes are awesome. Okay, we use the notes to study for exams. Okay, so I've attached the week 1 notes at the bottom down here. Okay, and that's what we're going to cover this week. But again, it doesn't take the place of your reading. You got to do that. Okay, one of the things in your week 1 module is to look at the Healthy People 2030 website. Here's your link to it. Okay, and then you have a discussion question due this week, right? And I've already told you here, it's due by Wednesday. Your initial post is due in 2 days. And then your peer responses are due Sunday. And there's a rubric. That's how I grade. And then HESI prep assignment will be introduced this week. So I'm working on updating it this week from the HESI that was just taken last week, a couple of weeks ago. I want to add some topics in there, and I want to delete some topics in there that weren't covered on the HESI. Because I don't know what the questions were in the HESI, but I know what the topics were. Okay, because I looked at your remediation, right? I looked at the remediation to see what topics were covered, right? So I want to make this HESI prep assignment, and I'll pull it up and show it to you, more reflective of the HESI. So that's a work in progress. Okay. And then you're attending lecture. Here's my information. This is used, my Zoom is used for tutoring, exams, classes. If you want to just jump on for 5 minutes and go through something, this is my Zoom. Okay. If you're going to be attending if there's an emergency and you're going to be attending another instructor's class, I'll send you the Zoom separately. Okay. This week, since we're not covering concepts, content, I'll be sending you a recording. Okay, so you're not going to miss out on the content. I'll send you a recording. Does that make sense? So I need you to listen to that recording at some point. Okay, please pay attention when I post a response to you. I'm looking for learning and teaching with every post. By Sunday, if you want to go to the course cafe and tell me something about yourself, tell us something about yourself and what you do for self-care, that'd be great. Not mandatory, but if you want to do it, that'd be great. And then if you have any questions, let me know. So I always post something like this every week. It won't be as long for the coming weeks because I wanted to do an introduction to the class. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the introduction of what kind of course this is? Right? So let's just go through it. All right. So this course provides a framework to support your practice in community-based settings. What's a community-based setting? What's a community-based setting? I'm asking.
I mean, I just think a group of people as a community.
Right. Well, that's okay. We can start there. Community. When you're working in the community, you can be working with 3 different types of people: an individual, a family, a subset of the community, homeless, elderly, obese kids, or you could be working with the whole community. And that's the difference. Okay. Community, you got to bring all your tools together. It's not, this isn't your pediatric patient or your med-surg patient, one patient in the hospital. This is an entire community. Okay. This is where, and I said this earlier, now you're starting to bring everything together. Okay. You're bringing together your knowledge from previous classes, your skills that you've learned, the nursing process, your ADPI, into your role as an LPN or an LVM, right? What are you doing? What is your role? You're promoting health and wellness to individuals, right there, families in the community-based setting. So when you think of community-based, think of school nursing, right? Public health nurse. How about the faith community nurse? Right? There's such thing as a faith community nurse, right? That works in parishes, right? Think, what about hospice nurses? Hey, Devon,
Hello, I don't know what's going on.
are you in my class?
I was just in a leadership class since 3 o'clock, and then it like booted me out of the class and an email popped up saying that I'm supposed to be in here at 3. And now the class is gone and yours replaced it. So I'm not sure.
Are you taking community, Devon, this term?
Yes, but it wasn't on, I'm confused. It wasn't on my Canvas. I had capstone leadership and mental health, and
Oh.
now it said that my leadership is gone and your class replaced it.
Okay, so you feel free to stay. I don't have you on my roster, which is fine, but if you're supposed to just hang out the rest of the class, then you're going to have to go back to your dean on campus. What campus are you from?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, I see. I don't know that you're supposed to be in this class. This isn't a Cincinnati class, but
Okay.
yeah, just it's up to you. You can hang out or yeah.
Are you recording this session?
I am.
I'll try and figure some things out and then
Okay.
get back to you. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No worries, Devon. No worries.
Have a nice day.
You too. So what are we going to be? So we're talking about what are community health roles? You got a hospice nurse. What about a home health nurse? Public health nurse, immunization nurse, vaccination nurse. What else is in the community? Rehab nurse, CNAs, LPNs, RNs. Community is full of lots of different roles and people. Okay, so your role is going to be to promote health and wellness to individuals and or families and or subsets of the population and or to the whole population. Education is huge in community health. We use ADPI. One of the things that you need to be able to do this term, and it's hard, is you have to be able to take your ADPI and apply it to the community. So what does your assessment look like in the hospital with a pediatric patient versus an assessment in the community with a family that has kids with drug problems? Okay, so ADPI, we still use our nursing process, right? But we have to be able to do it in the community as well. So throughout this course, you're going to be introduced in several ways that complement your LPN role, right? How do we collaborate with healthcare team? What does wellness promotion mean? Healthcare delivery in environments such as home, this is community, home, outpatient clinics, diagnostic-based care centers. How do we care for individuals with chronic illnesses? That's not done in the hospital anymore. It's done at home, which is community-based. Caring for individuals with HIV. We'll talk a lot about vulnerable populations. Right? The community is full of vulnerable populations, right? Every community. Just look around your own community. Right? And during week 9, you do a vulnerable populations assignment. And we introduce that early in the term because it's a research project. You pick a vulnerable population in your zip code, in your own community, and you do a little bit of research on that community, on that population. What are some the basis of this whole class is vulnerable populations. One of the bases is what vulnerable populations are in your communities right now? What's a vulnerable population?
Homelessness,
Cancer.
Elderly,
teen pregnancy,
Mental illness,
mental illness,
drug abuse, suicide, homeless families, pregnant teens. What else is in your community? Substance abuse. Inner city crime. These are, if you try and expand just think outside the clinical box for a minute of the hospital. Think of all that you could be exposed in, all of the kinds of vulnerable people and populations you can be exposed to and potentially be caring for in the community. It's a lot. It's a lot. And that's why we bring all our tools together from all our previous, that's why you've already had fundamentals. That's why you've already had med surg. You've already had geriatrics. You've already had pharmacology, right? We're bringing everything together. That's why community comes towards the end. Okay. To-do list. We already went through the reading. Did I put that in there twice? No. Oh, we already went through that. Okay. So let's go through, I want to go through the syllabus real quick. Okay. I know you guys are tired. You've had peds before this. I promise I won't keep you all the way, but I do want to go over some stuff. Syllabus. Everybody has a syllabus, right? Please take a look at the your outcome, your SLO, student learning outcomes. Okay, this is what the foundation of the course is based on. Okay, this is what we want you to be able to accomplish by the end of the term. Okay, pretty straightforward, but I want you to have a look at those. Okay. There's also 6 course objectives. Again, have a look at those when you have a minute. Okay, course requirements. We already went through all this, the 78. Here's all the things you'll be doing in the class, or will be doing. Lecture, discussion, homework, readings, papers, group activities. Here's your 3 books. Okay, in your module, you have a link to them, but here they are listed. Those are the 3 books you need to have. Make sure you have the correct edition. And actually, these are 3 books that everybody should already have from your previous classes. Okay, and then you have an awesome reference package, resource materials. Okay, make sure you guys know about your academic catalog and handbook. Okay, grading we've already gone through. There's the grade scale. Here's our, I think it's probably correct in here. Wherever, yeah. So here, this is where it's correct. Key graded assessments are your top 3. Okay, your exams, your quizzes, your, okay. Don't do the quizzes before class. There's a quiz in week 2 and there's a quiz in week 3 and I have to look and see when the other weeks are. Don't do your quiz before class. It's meant to be done after class. And we're going to try and do that together. Okay. So everybody gets 10s because we're all working on it together. I don't want any 4s and 5s. The 4s and 5s that come up in quizzes are students that probably took it before the class started. And there's no repeats for quizzes. I can't reset it. The only thing I've been able to do in the past, if people are taking it before class and they shouldn't be, is send me your answers. Just email me your correct answers and we'll get it changed, but I don't like to do that. Okay, so just FYI about the quizzes. And then here's your assignments and homework. A lot of this was just covered in the PowerPoint. Your HESI. Here's your late work, restates everything about it. Okay. Please, please, please let me know if you're going to be late with an assignment. If you get an email from me, it already means I didn't hear from you, and that way I have to give you a 0. Okay? Please communicate with me. Here's your weeks. So this is where I copy and paste from in your little weekly assignment. So as you can see, in week 1, I just took this and I'm still sharing, right? You guys can still see my screen, right? I just copy and pasted this. Okay, so if you look through your syllabus, here's what we're going to be covering. Here's all your readings, begin HESI prep assignment, and here's your assignments. Okay, so next week, let's just go through next week. Next week, we're going to cover what the school nurse role is. We're going to cover growth and development. We're going to cover common childhood ailments. And look what your reading is. Common childhood ailments. And believe it or not, your discussion question is right along with it. Choose 3 common childhood ailments and list, whatever. Describe the signs and symptoms. Okay. So everything, community is pretty easy. All the dots are connected. Okay. What we cover in class is all in your readings, and it has to do with your assignments. It's all connected. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. And next week's reading, look at the reading. We don't have, do we have, I don't even think we have, oh, we do have a couple of chapters. But in your in maternity and peds book, we're just asking you for all of these common childhood ailments to review a couple of pages. Okay, there's not a bunch of chapters. Okay. Growth and development is big in community. So we do have you reading chapters 11 and 12 from the fundamentals book. So up here we have maternity. Here's your assignments with maternity. Then we have your fundamentals book, chapters 11 and 12. And then we have your med-surg book. Only 1 page of your med-surg book. And again, C Canvas course. That means those reading pages are in your module, and I'll show you that. Okay. So does everybody see how that flows? And I always like to go through, look at what we're going to be covering. This is how broad community is. Let's just go through some of the topics. Introduction to community nursing. Levels. What do we mean when we say levels of healthcare prevention? What does that mean? Primary, secondary, tertiary. Does everybody know what that means? Have you guys heard those terms before in your previous classes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we'll be talking about that as it relates to community. Introduction to vulnerability, school nurse, growth and development, common childhood ailments, family nursing, family health risks. If we're working in the community, we're likely working with families, right? And then in week 3, we get to talk about certain vulnerable populations, migrant workers, rural populations, homelessness, poverty. It's all part of community nursing. All right, week 4, we continue with the special vulnerable populations. We talk about pregnant adolescents, LGBTQ, mental illness, alcohol, tobacco, other drug issues. And we get going on to hospice and palliative care, death and dying, faith and spirituality, and ethics. And another part of community nursing is occupational health, right? Everybody that works in a facility has an occupational health nurse or department. Do you not? That's all part of community nursing. Environmental health. What are the risks out there in the community in which we live or the people we're taking care of? What are environmental risks? And then, as I stated at the beginning, a large majority of our role as community health nurses is teaching, right? So we're going to talk about how do we teach in the community? Who do we teach to? What are barriers to learning? How do we put together programs? How do we reinforce health education? And then week 7 and 8, we get into infectious disease. I mean, think about community. What if we've just gone through a pandemic for 2.5 years that's been public health focused, community focused. The spotlight of community nursing and public health nursing has been elevated like it's never been before, because everything that's come out of this pandemic has been in the community, right? Testing, vaccinations, right? Then we'll talk about HIV, TB, STDs, and bioterrorism and disasters in the community. What's our role? How do we prepare? What kinds of issues might we be dealing with when it comes to bioterrorism or disaster? And then we end up talking about home care, community resources, case management. How do we care for the complex chronically ill? Okay, cirrhosis, COPD, type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Okay. And then the last week we'll cover human abuse and violence. So we talk about trafficking, all kinds of violence, domestic violence, child abuse, human trafficking. And then we talk about culture. And I wish we talked about culture at the beginning, because I'm pretty big on cultural competence. What does cultural competence mean? We all have to be culturally competent to perform successfully in our roles, whatever that role is. What does it mean to be culturally competent? I'm asking.
Just to understand like other people's religions, even if you don't believe in it, you just need to understand like that's their belief.
Right? What else does it take to be culturally competent?
Being open-minded, like also maybe doing research on what their religion is.
Asking them questions. As a community nurser, obviously you're not expected to know about every belief and value in every culture, right? But this day and age, I can guarantee you are going to be working with multicultural individuals, families, communities. And so we'll talk about assessing your own beliefs and values and how to engage in learning about different cultures and being able to culturally competently take care of different cultures. Really important in community nursing. Okay. And then the last thing I want to go through with you guys is, oops, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Okay, I'm going to share my screen one more time. Okay, we're going to go into the modules. Okay. This is my screen, so my instructor resources, but you guys have so many student resources, right? You guys use your student resources, right? Your links. And you're familiar with what's in there. I mean, I use your writing center. I love to go in and use your writing center and read new material and read. I love the student resources. I'm in there as well. Your online learning library resources. So if you haven't taken advantage of this, please do. And most of your questions that you're going to bring to me, I'm going to send you right back there. Okay. If you're having problems with accessing case studies or your, Canvas, how to get started, here's your books. Here's your, right? Here's your textbook student resources. Here's your 3 books. There's your NCLEX PN. Here's case studies, practice exams. You've got tons of stuff in there. Okay. How to register for ProctorU, Zoom. What do you do? Here's right here. troubleshooting during a HESI, trouble with Evolve Elsevier, which is where most of your assignments come from. Canvas tells you what to do. Okay? So please take advantage of your student resources. Okay? There's my page, has my contact info and Dean Brown's. Here's obviously your literacy. You've already done that, most of you. If you feel like posting in Course Cafe right here. So here's what I'm going to be sending you this week. Okay, so I have basically, what I'd like you to do at the beginning of each week is just start here for the module. What's the overview for week 1? Okay, there's your overview page. Okay, so what are the course outcomes? What are you going to be covering? What are our activities, readings, and begin the HESI prep? This came right from your syllabus. Okay, when it says Canvas reading, okay, you have here's your book reading, right? Fundamentals and then Med-Surg, and then you have 4 other bullets. That's what we call our module reading. So all these 4 topics are introduced right in your module. Okay, so there's the first one, Intro to Community Nursing. Yeah, there's no book reading on this, it's right here. Okay, has some great resources if you want it. And the next topic we'll cover is levels of healthcare prevention. This is your primary, secondary, tertiary. Okay, so it's right in your module. So when it says Canvas module reading, that's what this means. And you're going to have, I think there's only maybe 1 or 2 weeks, there's no Canvas module reading. It's all from your book. Most weeks do have these little pages. Third one is Healthy People 2030. Okay, remember, this is right on your syllabus. These are the 4 things we're covering. Okay, what's Healthy People 2030? Okay, and then the last one is Intro to Vulnerability. Okay, you with me? Okay, so you read through that. And then what else do we have in here? Here's your vulnerable population. Here's your discussion question that's due in 2 days. Choose a vulnerable population from this week's readings. Describe the resources or programs that are available in your community to assist with the group. Okay, simple question. And your big paper at the end is kind of a summary. It's an expansion of this discussion question. So we're asking you just for a general overview this week. And if you want to stay with this population and do your research paper on it, great. Okay, and you've already seen this before. When do you post? Post to your peers. Okay, here's the rubric right here for how it's graded. It's the same as your other ones. Oh, what did I just do? You will be unsubscribed. I need to subscribe. You're subscribed. Okay. Oh, so Justin's already posted something in there. Awesome. And then your attestation. Okay, so that's where I'm not quite done yet, but I'm asking everybody, since we just got to this page, everybody pull up your week 1 attestation in your week 1 module. And you guys have it good. All we have to put in there is my name, Professor Marvel, and today's date. That's it. And then hit submit.
Mine has like 4 questions.
There's no
Same.
way.
Yeah, no, it has
Mine too.
more question, like question 2, what is the policy for late work and percentage deduction if not turned in on time?
Hang
What are
on.
some of the duties of a community?
Hang on. Let me go to student view and see what you guys are talking about. That's what I see. This quiz is part of the week 1 module and hasn't been unlocked yet.
You see why I say 4 questions on there?
Nope, not there yet. I'm trying to get there. Modules, week one. Week one attestation. Am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
That's all I see. Completion of this quiz confirms.
The one you had before this one, it did say you had 4 questions.
We don't have questions in the P, we have questions in the RN attestation, but we do not, the only way you would have to answer 10 questions in a PN attestation is if you didn't attend a live lecture. So after I do attendance in the chat, if you weren't in class, I'm gonna, when I send out the recording of the class, I'm gonna say, for those of you that didn't attend live session, please answer the following 10 questions and send it back to me. So I don't know where you guys are seeing.
No,
more questions.
I don't think you're in
Professor,
student view.
I'm having the same issue. I have 4 questions on the thing.
You've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
I don't think you're in student view.
From Los Angeles.
No, I got out, but I went in student view and there wasn't anything in there. There wasn't 4 questions.
Yeah, it says right there at the top, 4 questions.
Where?
Right there
Oh,
underneath versus
Do you
December.
see your questions?
Yep.
I don't see them on yours, but I do see them on mine.
Okay, well, let me go into my assignments real quick and make sure. We'll answer them. Let's see, assignments. We are in week 1. I put all your due dates in there for you. Week 1 attestation. See what we got going in here. All right, oh wait, hang on a minute. Preview. Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes.
There you go. There's your 4 questions. Gosh, you guys are smart. All right, let's answer them. So first question is my name and the date. This is a
Professor
preview.
Marvell on October 3rd, 2022.
Thank you, Madison. Question 2. What's the policy for late work? And the
10%.
percentage, what?
10% deduction.
And
What's first?
7 days is
7
10%
days.
deduction.
That's right.
Need
What,
your permission.
yes, you need my permission to be late. So just don't be late. There's too many steps. There's too many steps to go through if you're late. Just don't be late. Unless we have a true emergency, reach out to me. So number 1, my permission. And number 2, if you have communicated with me, you have up to 7 days, right? And it comes with a 10%. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3. What are some of the duties of a community nurse? We already talked about this. What did we say?
Educate, advocate.
Nope. Well, oh, yes. Go ahead. So whoever's talking, put that in the chat for everybody. Am I sharing my screen? Can't
Yeah.
see. Yeah. So so you guys put some stuff in the chat. What are the duties? Teaching. Right? Teaching. I don't like these questions. These questions aren't supposed to be here. Anyway, because the 4th question is just a repeat of question 1. So silly.
So do we gotta do this every week or?
No. There shouldn't be questions every week. Nope. Yeah, these, anyway, doesn't matter. We answered them for week 1. For a week, like I said, Justin, the only way you have to answer questions after this week is if you don't attend live lecture. Other than that, it's just putting the name and the date in there. Okay. So everybody hit submit. And that's done. Okay. Let me see if I covered my whole cheat sheet here.
Professor,
Mhm.
all the attestation have 4 questions, okay?
Okay,
All of them.
okay. Okay,
No, I just checked. I
okay.
see it. All right.
I'm probably gonna go back and pull those. But let's
Okay.
not worry about them. Okay, let's not worry about them right now. We're gonna do all our attestations together anyway. So let me go back in and check and see what these questions are. Okay? But we've done, everybody get them all the answers for today. I already told you, don't do quizzes ahead of times. Oh, I am gonna try and use breakout rooms this term with all of our group activities. You guys don't have a group activity until week 7. So I probably won't give you the groups till weeks 3 or 4. I want you to make a note of this, okay? 10% of your grade is due in weeks 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, in week 9, you're going to have your vulnerable populations assignment, and you're going to have your HESI prep. Okay, in week 10, what's week 10? Let me go to my modules here. My point is that there's no reason to wait to do some of these bigger assignments. Okay, so in week 9, okay. So in week 9, you have a case study, an NCLEX, and your HESI prep assignment, which is kind of big. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, week 10, you have your vulnerable populations project and an attestation. So what I'm saying is HESI prep is worth 5%. Vulnerable populations is worth 5%. So do not wait until weeks 9 and 10 to complete your HESI prep and your vulnerable population. Here's why. Because in week 10 is your 3rd exam, and then you're going right into HESI in week 11. So I highly encourage you to be working on this HESI prep throughout the term. And that's why I'm going to try and incorporate it into some activities that we do. All right. So last term, I had a lot of students who weren't working on their HESI prep, and they weren't working on their vulnerable populations. And all of a sudden, week 8, 9 came, they had to do their HESI prep assignment. They had to do their vulnerable populations project, 10% of their grade. They were trying to study for an exam, and they were trying to get ready for HESI. It was too much. Let me pull, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. I want to pull the HESI prep assignment. Oh. Let me think, hang on. Let me think. I can go back to, I'm going back to a class. Oh, I didn't show my screen back. Hang on. Let me get it up. Okay. So let me share my screen. I'm pulling up a student from last term. Okay. Here's what she did. HESI prep assignment. Okay. You're given this, it's blank. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
It's broken out into 5 different topics. Bioterrorism, and it gives you, so all you have is the left side. All of this has to be filled in. Bioterrorism, and these are things that we covered during the term. So it's broken into bioterrorism, disaster, epidemiology, health promotion, and home health. So each of these headers has a whole bunch of different things. We end up covering all these things on the left-hand side during class. And that's why we give it to you in week 1. Because we want you to complete this. Every time we have class, I want you to go back to this assignment and complete what we just covered. Therefore, by week 9, right? By week 9, it's all filled in. Well, that didn't happen last term to a lot of students, and they were trying to do this at the last minute, and it was an extreme, it's worth 5% of your grade. So it's a big assignment. Okay. So I am updating that as we speak. I just have to tweak it. A lot of the topics were on the HESI. And I get those topics on the left-hand side from looking at what was asked on the HESI. I don't know the question, but I know the topic. Okay, makes sense? So I'm trying to update that for you. And what I'd like to do is use some of our group activity in some of our classes and go, you know, kind of go complete this HESI assignment as we're going. Right? Just trying to help you guys out so you don't get stuck at the end of the term with this monstrosity of pages to fill out. Does that make sense? So that's a HESI prep. So a couple of things I'm working on for you. I'm working on exam 1 study guide. This PNR community never had study guides for exams. I started that last term. Really helpful for students. I have to tweak study guide 1 because we changed some of the questions based on last term. So I'm working on study guide 1. I'm working on the HESI prep. What else am I working on? Oh, we're working on Kahoots for you. What else? I'm working on a schedule for review sessions. I'm going to try and do that ahead of time with all 4 of my instructors, or the 4 of us. I'm trying to get their availability for exams 1, 2, and 3 review sessions. Okay, I like to offer students, and again, we do this in the RM program, and this wasn't offered routinely in the PN program, but last term we started and it was really helpful for students. So starting about Thursday, the week before your exam. So your first exam is in week 4. So in week 3, maybe from Thursday through Sunday, I wanted one of us to do a review, 1 Thursday, 1 Friday, 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday. So you have 4 days to go to 4 different reviews. You can go to 1, you can go to 4, you can listen to recordings, whatever. Okay, Thursday and Friday, we can catch the kids that don't work on the weekends. On the weekends, we can catch the kids that don't work during the week. So we try and offer it. So that's my goal, is to have review. We don't have great attendance, to be honest with you, and which kind of stinks because there is a direct correlation with attending live review sessions and exam performance. There just is. I've seen it for term after term after term after term. So that's my goal, is to offer 4 review sessions the 4 or 5 days prior to the week you take the exam. And then you would have access to all the recordings. We all share the recordings with each other, and you should have 4 recordings in your announcement by the end of Sunday. Make sense? Just try to help you out as much as I can here. Team effort, okay? Really need all you guys to pass this class. This is a passable class. Okay? I think if you just look at it differently, just sit back and enjoy this class. You learn, I mean, wherever you work in nursing, as an LP, wherever you're going to work, you're going to be involved with the community. You might be working in the community. You're going to be involved with community nursing in some way. You got to know what it is. Okay, so just look at this, take off your long-term care, wherever you work, take off that hat, you just got a new job in the community, you're moving to a different state, and you've just been hired as a community nurse in nowhere land. You know nothing about the state, you know nothing about the community, but you've been hired to do it. So you get off the plane, you walk into the community and you go, Now what? This class teaches you about how do you get to know a community? What kinds of things do you need to know? What kinds of populations are there? Right? What kinds of problems are there? You know, is it a rural community that has many other risks versus an urban community? Right? Is it a community with high crime rate? Is it a community that lives near industrial railroad tracks that has a lot of environmental risks? Who knows? But you're the new kid on the block, and your job is to go in and find out about this community. How are you going to do that? That's what we're going to learn about. I think it's kind of cool. It's different. Doesn't have a clinical attached, doesn't have Sims attached. It's a class where we start to pull everything together. And a lot of students were shocked on their HESI last term because there were med-surg questions, there were pediatric questions, stuff that I may not have covered in class, but the expectation was that you start to bring all your knowledge together. Right? Because think about what you need to know. If you're caring for a stroke patient in the community, right? You need to know your med-surg skills. You need to know your fundamentals. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to send you guys some test taking tutorials from Elsevier I have on my instructor resources about how to break down questions and how to think about questions. I'm going to send you a recording for my week 1 content. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff for you. So anyway, I'm going to stop. Questions? Too much information, too little information.
As of right
Okay.
now,
What?
I don't have any questions. If I have questions, I'll
Just shoot me an email if you have any questions.
Yeah.
Shoot me a text, whatever
I
whatever
don't.
questions you have. I hope you enjoy this class, but you know what? Block a little bit of time out for community at the beginning of each week, get your stuff done, and you're done for the week. Then you can focus on your other classes. You do not want to fall behind this class. It takes forever to catch up. And there's not that much. There's some big assignments at the end. Start working on them now. Get it out of the way. Start working. You know, if you're doing your discussion 1 and you've picked a vulnerable population like homeless and you're going to do it this week, your discussion question, keep that on top of your desk and keep expanding on that. And there's your vulnerable populations assignment due in week 9. Just trying to help with tidbits I've learned from other terms and other students. Anybody have anything to add? I'm really happy to be here. I really love what I'm doing. I really will help you guys in however I can, but you need to help me too. Okay, I can't help you if I don't know what's going on, if there's something going on that is causing you to not be successful in this class. I will work with you to the extent that I can, to the flexibility I have, and trust me, I'm flexible. But there's only so far I can go. Okay? And I like having a small class. This is awesome. Okay, I meant to give you a little bit more than 2 minutes of the gift of time, so I apologize, but we did get through everything. So now you've had 2 back-to-back classes. Go relax for the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next week. But reach out if you need anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, nice to meet everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.